Hello there. I wanted to pop on and share a story with you between calls this morning as the topic came up in one of my client calls. And it's because of a conversation that I had with a friend over the weekend regarding the power of names. Do you know that there's power in your name? Do you resonate with your name? The reason I ask is that I was about 29 years of age. I learned through the fact that I was unwell, that I wasn't living by my soul name. So without going too far into it, if you want to know more, you'll need to contact me. But without going too far into it, for the first 30 years of my life, I was known as Kerry. My birth name was Kiara, but my family, my parents named me Kerry, mostly because they felt that it would be an easier name for me to carry. Now, fast forward to being around 28, 29 years of age, and I say 28, 29 because that's when the out of balances in my body started showing up, okay? And by the time I was about to turn 30, I was quite ill with debilitating ear infections, etc., etc. I was always going to a chiropractor for my back and my neck, and it wasn't a great time physically. And so anyway, fast forward a little, it was on the eve of my 30th birthday, and I got into a cab in Sydney. I was living in Sydney, Australia at the time. And my family were up there to help celebrate my 30th birthday. And I was feeling, not great at all, like death warmed up actually. But I persisted and I, really wanted this party to go well. There were quite a few people coming, and Mum and I got into a cab and we were going somewhere to get some things for the event. And my taxi driver, who I believe to have been an angel in human form, looked at me in the rearview mirror and said to me, "You're not well. I can tell that you're not well." And I said, "You're right, I'm not." And he paused and he looked at me and he said, "Look, I know you don't know me. I'm a taxi driver. I'm Russian. And you could tell me that I don't know what I'm talking about. But I need to tell you that I think I can help you. I'm a numerologist and I would like to do your numbers if you'll allow me to. I would like to do your numbers to see where you're at with your life." Now, I hadn't had a numerology session at that point. I had heard about them, but I'd never had one. And I was at a point where I was willing to try anything. And yes, he was a taxi driver. Yes, he was Russian. His English wasn't the best, but there was something about him that I really liked. I could really trust. And so I immediately said, "Okay, well, when you drop us off at home, you can stop the car and come in and, we'll make you a cup of tea." Anyway, my mum was wondering what on earth I was doing, trusting this man, but every part of my being felt I could trust him. And I really wanted an answer. I was ready for some answers. So he came in, Mum popped into the kitchen, made us a cup of tea. I took a piece of paper and a pen and I gave it to him. And at the time, my name was Kerry Louise Tino. And he wrote that down. And look, from memory, he looked at it. He looked at my name written down, Kerry Louise Tino. And he just paused and he said, "I'm not getting anything from this name." And I said, "What do you mean?" And he said, I can't read this. This isn't you. I can't read it." And I said, "Well, it's my name. You can imagine I was known as Kerry Tino and I was that name." And he was arguing with me and he said, "No, this is not your name." And eventually he got up and he walked into the kitchen and he said to my mum, "I can't read anything from your daughter's name. What name was she born with? What was she given at birth?" And she said, well, Kiara, but her name's not that, it's Kerry. And he said, well, that's why your daughter's unwell. She's not living by her soul name. Now, that's a big thing to deal with, a mother dealing with hearing that your daughter's unwell because she's not living her soul name. And I loved living Kerry. I did. It was my name. I was very proud of it. I had a great life living that name. But by the time I got to 29, it was time for me to change direction. It was time for me to go back to Kiara, which is why I was unwell. It was guiding me, I believe, with every fiber of my being. I was being guided to this man who was going to start me on the trajectory of changing direction. And so I was more than happy being Kerry. But at that point, he came in and he sat down and he scribbled out Louise. He said, Louise has no bearing on your life whatsoever. And Louise was my confirmation name. He said, no, has no bearing on your life. So I want you to have, for the next 12 months, bring in to your life that you are Kerry, Kiara, Tino. So make Kiara your middle name so it's not too much of a shock to your life. And then in 12 months' time, change it by deed poll, knock out the Kerry, and you'll be ready to step fully into Kiara. And every part of me resonated with that truth. Yes, there was the part that thought, wow, is that right? Like, could this be real? But there was a deeper sense that I had that resonated with everything that he said. And so I did exactly what he said. And he began to read from the name, Kerry, Kiara, Tino. He said that I would go on a healing journey to heal my life and discover what it is that I'm here to do with my life, for myself and for others. And then once he moved into reading me as Kiara Tino, that's where I can think back on all that he said. I wished I'd recorded it. But that was when I was going to fully step into who I am as a difference maker in the world, in the way of being a coach, in the way of teaching people the power that we truly have, our magnificence, the importance of living our purpose. His words to me were, when you step into Kiara Tino as Kiara, you will see that you will make a global difference. And you'll know it in about 20 to 30 years' time. Now, you can imagine I was 30 years old. I was thinking, wow, I have to wait that long. But looking back, I can see the journey. It was all in the journey. It was everything I do on this journey. I was making a difference from that moment on. And now I really am seeing what my purpose is in making a difference to others, in assisting others with living their purpose, in discovering what it is that they want for their life. As I do that for myself, I'm helping others do the same through my programs, through my alignment sessions, through my coaching sessions, one-on-one and in groups, like I can see through the books that I've written along the way. And so this conversation that we had with a friend of ours on Saturday really reminded me of the power of a name. And now, after that, after I had that session with that beautiful taxi driver, I saw a kinesiologist not long after that. I soon started a course in kinesiology, in hypnotherapy, spiritual healing, Reiki, massage. It just led me down that path because I knew that if I wanted to help others, I needed to start healing my life, which I did. And I'm continuously healing. We're all growing and let go of what doesn't serve us. And so very quickly after that, I was seeing clients, especially in my Reiki sessions, where, people weren't happy with their name. People weren't happy with the name that they were living by. And because of my experience, I was able to assist them and guide them into discovering, well, what name do you want to live by? Or perhaps, you know, it's that they were born with a certain name, and like me, they went by another name for a few years. But, you know, time goes by and eventually you need to go back to your soul name or discover what your soul name is. And so I wanted to share that with you all, because if you're watching this and there's something not quite, you know, on track for you, if it doesn't feel like your name resonates with you, then you can contact me and I can help you with discovering what your soul name is. And perhaps you do love your name, but there's something in it, in the life that you've had. Perhaps you want to discover a deeper connection with your name, your soul name. So I wanted to share all of that. If you're watching this, trust that there's a reason and reach out to me. I can certainly help you discover the connection that you have with your name, or discover what your soul name is. My name is Kiara Sharp. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope that's made a difference. I will see you soon. Bye for now.